Hello traders, it's Iliya here and welcome to the Trading Fanatic channel. In this video, I'm gonna break down trend lines. So I've seen a lot of people draw trend lines incorrectly and at the end they're like, oh, why didn't my trend line get respected? Oh, I just lost this trade while this trend line was perfect. Well, no. So in this video, I'm gonna introduce you to one major rule that creates a trend line correct. So make sure to stay tuned. We're gonna have a lot of examples and we're gonna have a look at real charts. So if you're excited, slap that like button and let's get straight into the video. So as you can see here on my screen, I have a textbook example drawn with lines. So just quickly going through it, we have wave A, wave B, and wave C. This is A, B, C, and this is all you need for a correct trend line. So before we go into the rules, you should always mark where your wave A starts. So as I already covered Fibonacci, I explained that before wave A happens, on the left, we might have some reversal formations, for example, a double bottom, and wave A is a nice impulsive wave that kind of breaks structure on the left. And if we're to draw fips, we're gonna draw them like this, and you can see that wave B will always be around the Fibonacci level. So if you haven't checked the fips level, make sure to do so because they will add a lot of confidence to the current knowledge you're going to absorb. So wave A, wave B is the pullback wave, and wave C is the third wave that creates your trend line. So right now, I'm gonna plot a quick rule in here. Here it is. So this is the major rule for trend lines. As you can see, wave B should not break the low of wave A. So it should create a higher low. Where is the low of our wave A? It's here. That's where the impulsive leg started. So a rule for wave B is that price action should not break below wave A, because if it breaks, well, we're going into another downtrend and we should expect price action to retest the low and continue down. So price action is allowed to pull back anywhere in between this area, but not below the low of wave A. So it can come back down here to create a double bottom and then decide to continue to the upside. Who knows? The market can do anything. But the major rule is that wave B should not break the low of wave A and it should create a higher low. So currently this is our higher low, right? And after a higher low, what do we expect? A higher high. And this is the second rule, is that wave C should close higher than the high of wave A. Because if it breaks the high of wave A, then we will have a higher high. So the current higher high, we can see it's here. This was newly created, and the last higher high we can see is here. After price created a higher high, it pulls back for a higher low, and then when price creates the higher high, that's when you have a trend line, guys. This is very important, and this is only when you're going to draw your trend line. Why? Because if price action pushes up here and finds resistance at this, so this is not a higher high, well, your rule is not met. Wave C did not close higher than the high of wave A. So currently you have a double top potentially. And the probability of this trend line holding, it's much lower than if you have a higher high. So in such occasion, your trend line might get broken, and then an opportunity could be if price comes back for a retest and creates a lower high. But this is another situation, and as you can see, there are a lot of possibilities of the market. So currently sticking to the rules, we have a higher high, and that's only when we have a trend line. And next, how do you trade this? Well, very simply, guys, with fips, and usually the high of wave A will serve you as a supportive region. So if you draw it like something like this, and then you have a Fibonacci, for example, at the high here, and you will expect price action to pull back to the trend line, to a fib level, and to the high of wave A, which is a very nice confluence. And when you see all of those confluences aligning, you have a high probability trade. So to sum everything up, guys, we have a lot of drawings here. We need wave A, wave B, and wave C. We need wave B not to close below the low of wave A, and wave C should create a higher high. So we should have a clear bullish wave in order to introduce a trend line, because a lot of you guys just see price action starting to support here. It even hasn't begun to push and you immediately draw your trend line. But this is not correct, because when price action comes back here probably for a retest, you will enter buys. But if price action is not able to continue to create a high, then the probability of this reversing to the downside is big, because this could be a lower high of this structure here. And then you might have a trend line like this. So that is why it's very important to stick to the rule and apply it always. If you don't have a hard high, you do not have a trend line. So right now it got pretty messy. Let's go to the real charts as we always do to find some trend lines and to see how we're going to trade them. Just quickly to cover the situation for a short bias market and a descending trend line. So you see we have again wave A, wave B, and wave C, and our major rule is slightly different, but you should know that. So wave B should not break the high of wave A, because if it breaks the high of wave A, we will be having a high, which is not good for a downtrend. Then it should create a lower high, because if it closes lower than the high of wave A, we will be having a lower high, right? And we have the low of wave A. Wave C should close lower than this low and it will create a lower low. And that's only when you're going to insert a trend line. And then you will be waiting for price to retest back at structure point, Fibonacci, and a trend line. And you're having the highest probability setup. Alright guys, here we are, Euro USD daily time frame. I can see a lot of examples here that will help you grasp the concept. And if you appreciate the fact that I always go to the live charts to show you how do we implement the textbook examples, make sure to hit the subscribe button to support my channel and to give me motivation to create more and more educational content. So let's get serious. What do we have here on Euro USD? So I will delete some price action. Let's say to here. All right, so let's analyze this market from here. What do we have? We have wave A, wave B, which did not close below the low here. And you can see always, guys, when we have a reversal, price action will make some sort of a double bottom or triple bottom or whatever. And you see how we had here the double bottom, and then we had the impulsive move breaking the structure on the left, which is a very, very nice confluence. Then we had the pullback, which is wave B. So wave B did not close below wave A, the low of wave A, so we had an amazing opportunity. And you can see the Fibonacci was perfect, so we had a very good opportunity here for a long bias, but still we don't have a trend line. When wave C pushed and broke the high of wave A, that's when we can introduce the trend line. And this is our trend line. And what do we do, guys? We usually wait for the trend line to get retested and possibly a Fibonacci level. On this occasion, we never got the confirmation that price action is holding. So we had, if we include the FIB, we have the 61.8%. But looking at the candles, looking at the psychology of the candles, do you think this is going to push up? Because I don't think so. I see only bearish pressure. But this is not the point of this video. We're gonna make sure to create another one for this. And we saw that price action continues to push to the downside and even retested the trend line from the other side. You can see here that it got retested and tried to push to the downside. So we should always be switching our trend lines and our biases. So currently price action made a nice impulsive leg to the downside. It tried to pull back. So currently we have a possible situation for a new trend line introduction, right? But what do we need? Well, we need price action to break the low of wave A. Price action failed to do so. So currently we do not have a trend line like this. Because if you did have a trend line like this, after this bullish engulf, you would have gone long, right? Which is not correct. So let's see what happens with this market. We're going to go through all of it. All right, we see that right now price created a lower low. So currently, guys, we have a trend line. Another advice for me is that as every structure in the market, trend lines as well are not as singular lines, they are zones. So a very nice tool you can use is the rotated triangle. So what you can do is that you can draw a trend line like this and catch a little bit more of price action. So something like this. Let's see. Yep, so this could be our trend line right now, and you can see it's more of a zone than a line. So because price action will not always come back to tap the exact line you've drawn. So price action continues to push to the downside now, and what do we expect? We expect price action to create another wave B, right? Because this is currently an impulsive wave A. Let's see if price action creates this. Yep, and you can see currently price action is entering into our trendline zone. We always wait for confirmations, guys. We have a nice confirmation here at the zone. We see that the zone got broken a little bit. But as I already told you, so personally, I don't use trend lines. Why I don't? Because they are very deceiving. So you can draw your trend line like this. You can catch the top here and possibly to wait for more wicks. But we know that according to our rules, price action broke the low here. So we are expecting a lower high, and this should continue down to push and create another lower low because this is a bearish trend. If we draw a fib, price action is failing to close above the 78.6. So we have another confluence. Our take profit is here. And we just possibly we could enter this trade, right? Price action is consolidating a lot, but in the end it ends up pushing. We have another test of this zone. You should kind of always try to keep your zones intact. But when do you move a zone? Well, you will move it when price action creates a lower low, right? So in this situation, it wasn't correct for us to make it to move it because price action hasn't created a low. So right now when we see the low, that's when we have a longer term wave A, then we have wave B, and that is wave C. So we have this big trend line right now. That is a very nice zone. And that is it, guys. That is how you just go with the flow of the market. So price action currently broke this level. And what are we waiting for? This is wave A. We're waiting for wave B to come and create a lower high and then continue to push to the downside. We have wave B here. We have rejection. So possibly we can enter here. We have even more confirmations. A little bit of a manipulation here. Possibly if we took any shorts, we would have taken profits at the low. And let's see if this market ends up pushing to the downside or we have a break of the trend line. So we can see, yep, price action created a lower low. So on this occasion, we adjust a little bit our trend lines, and you can see how we always strive to include as many wicks as possible. If we draw a singular line, it will look something like this, but it's always good to have this rectangle on because, as I told you, there are not price levels, they're price zones. And we keep repeating this process until this trend line gets broken, guys. So when a trend gets invalidated, when we have a break of a lower high, for example, and a break of the trend line. So price action retests here, again the zone, so we have another short opportunity. Let's see. Okay, so right now we're having a break of this trend line and a very nice impulsive leg to the upside. So currently we're starting to switch our bias, but yet we don't have a bullish trend line, right? Why don't we have it? Because we don't have a wave B and then a wave C that is going to confirm to us that we are right now entering into a bullish market, right? So let's wait patiently right now for price to pull back and to see if it creates wave B. All right, so this could be wave B. When do we want to include trend lines? You should know this by now. When wave B closes above the high of wave A, right? So we expect price action to break this and to create a higher high. Let's see if it does. We're having some rejections here and price action continues to push to the downside. All right, wow, what is this? So this is how Euro USD ends, and we had an amazing example here of this downtrend. So currently you could have drawn a trend line like this, but you see if you enter the buy here, and this trend line is not correct because we need a higher high first. That's when we're going to introduce the trend line, and that's when we're going to wait for a retest at it. And you see that price action struggled here and created a double top formation, and currently we're looking like for another bearish trend. Why? Because this is wave A. We're waiting for wave B not to break above this zone because this is the high of wave A, and then for price to create another lower low, and that's when we're going to have a descending trend line. So make sure to practice this and you're gonna get good at it, because it's just the process, guys. We have A, wave B, wave C, boom, trend line. You have a retest of the trend line. That's, I always tell you, draw zones. If we had our zone something like this here, let's see, we wanted to catch all the wicks of this structure. Here we have wicks, here we have wicks. Price action entered this area and made an amazing lower low. Price action returned back, and here we have a failure to create, so we don't adjust our trend line. Then you can see price again came back to retest this area and created a low. And this is another amazing downtrend. And then we have the bullish moves again. So yep, this is all about trend lines, guys, and how to draw them correctly. Another detail is that the major rule I mentioned to you works on every time frame, and always make sure to stick to it. So currently, if we have a look on an example here on Euro USD, we have a bearish leg, pullback, lower low. So currently we are safe to introduce this trend line. So price came back up here, tried to push to the downside, eventually broke the trend line. Nice push to the upside, pullback, push. All right, we have another bullish trend line. We have a zone. Price pulls back to tap the trend line and creates a massive impulsive leg to the upside. We adjust our trend line. Price comes back again, creates a double bottom and pushes to the upside to take profits. And this is the process, guys. It happens all over again. Even if you go to the 30 minutes again, it's not that good, because higher time frames will always prevail. But if you have A, B, C, then you could expect a pullback here to short the market again. But I would advise you to stay to daily, 4 hourly and maximum 1 hourly for drawing your trend lines. Thank you for staying up until now, guys. I really appreciate it, and I really hope you found something valuable from the video. If you did, make sure to mention it in the comments below so I can know that you are finding it valuable, and make sure to support my channel by clicking that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell in order not to miss the others valuable lessons from me. So just to mention to you, we have an amazing free fast class here that describes in just a few videos how you can trade very nicely in a swing trading style. It's completely free, so make sure to check the link in my description. And we have an amazing study guide if you're still struggling to find a structured way to learn and you want everything to be included in just a single ebook. This is it for you. And it's not only that, we have videos regarding every single concept that you can just click on it and you will be redirected to a video that explains all the details. So if you're pumped about this, make sure to let me know, click the links in the description, and see you on my next video. Thank you and take care.